Hey there, community, and welcome to the Providence Podcast. I'm Sister Leslie, and I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is offered to you by the Sisters of Divine Providence of Kentucky through our outreach ministry called GodSpace. You can stay connected with GodSpace at godspacecommunity.com, and you can even sign up for our weekly newsletter. And please help a sister out by subscribing to this podcast and sharing it as much as you can. That'd be great. Speaking of sharing, a couple of sisters joined me last week in reflecting on the Feast of the Holy Family. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas season. And today, happy Feast of the Epiphany. We'll get started with our reading from the Gospel of Matthew and go from there. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising, and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler, who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I too may go and pay him homage." After their audience with the king, they set out, and behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they departed for their country by another way. The Gospel, the good news of God.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
You know, this story is so familiar that it's almost hard to look at it with new eyes. So I had to get really intentional about trying to see it anew. And so I tried to look closely at some of the details to help me do that. And when I did, I noticed a few things. First of all, it doesn't say that there are three Magi, and it doesn't even say that there are kings. It doesn't even say that they're men. So you can chew on that for a second. Also, there are no camels in the reading from Matthew, but there are camels in the first reading from Isaiah. So if you look at that reading, you will see that there are camels who are part of the story. So I feel like if you have camels in your nativity scene like we do, I think they can stay there, because just because it doesn't say they're there doesn't mean they aren't. And lastly, more importantly, I don't think this story is really about the drama at all. The kings and Herod and all of that. I think it's really about something deeper. And for me, my attention has always been so fixed on the kings and their drama and their story and all of that. And I kind of get caught up in those details. And because of that, I haven't really thought a lot about what it means to have these exotic Magi, whoever they are, who are most certainly Gentiles, come and visit this little Jewish baby. What do you think of that? When I look at it in the context of the second reading from Ephesians about Christ coming to be with the Gentiles, I see that at its heart, this story and this feast could really be about belonging. These mysterious strangers come all the way from the east, wherever that is, right? following a star, whatever that is, to come and behold this child. To me, that shows the big picture impact of Christ's birth, right? It wasn't just for the shepherds abiding in that region. It wasn't just for the people of Jerusalem or Galilee. It wasn't just for the people in the Middle East or for the Jews. He was and is for all people, and thus all people belong to him and through him. And in this age today, where everything is divided, it's hard to remember that. And when things are so divided and contentious in the Middle East, as they have been for so long, and the divisions make people tear each other up. And Israel, who's supposed to rise in splendor, is instead committing acts of violence. It's hard to see the belonging of all people to each other. But this is so. The baby Jesus was born into a world full of conflict and division, and here we still are. His coming was so needed then, and it's just as needed now, don't you think? And I wonder if there is an invitation here to enter more deeply into that sense of belonging to each other. All of us could do a better job at rising in splendor to be the people God created us to be. And if a group of magi showed up at my door, camels or not, with weird gifts to let me know that Christ belongs to all of us and all of us belong to each other, if that happened, actually, through this story, that is what's happening. This story is calling all of us to extend a warmer welcome to each other. The thing is, division doesn't always look like warfare or scheming, like Herod is scheming in this story. Division can look like exclusion. It can look like tending to our own instead of our neighbors. It can look like selfishness. It can look like greed. It can look like bigotry. And we are meant to be better than that. I think that's the epiphany. That's what the real epiphany is of this feast. Christ is for each of us, is with each of us. And if we allow it, God, in the form of a tiny, vulnerable infant, can show us how to be more like Christ. So as we think about this invitation, how will we respond to this call to belong to each other? Now let's continue and maybe even deepen our reflection. As you think about this reading from the Gospel of Matthew and this feast of the Epiphany, what resonates with you? Is there anything that challenges you or gives you pause? Does this reading offer you a call or an invitation from God? Maybe you could take a few moments to talk it all over with God and see what God has to say to you. Thanks for listening to the Providence Podcast. I hope you continue to stay connected with God's space and, of course, the Sisters of Divine Providence of Kentucky. As you continue your spiritual journey, may you notice all the ways that God cares for you, and may we all take good care of each other. Peace.